Did you know that over 40% of American teenagers show visible signs of overexposure to fluoride? This condition, known as dental fluorosis, is responsible for brown staining, cloudy splotches, and white streaks found on the majority of 12 to 15-year-olds' teeth. However, what is most astonishing is that only 10% of children were diagnosed with dental fluorosis over 60 years ago, according to the National Research Council. So what is responsible for this drastic increase? The answer is fluoride. Fluoride is a naturally occurring substance that can be found in water and within the Earth's crust. However, what is actually added to our water is fluorosilicic acid, a chemically altered state of fluoride. In 1962, the United States Public Health Service began adding between 0.7 and 1.2 milligrams of fluoride per 1 liter of drinking water in an effort to help prevent tooth decay. This corrosive acid is toxic in high levels, and despite what supporters say, is not the same naturally occurring substance found within the Earth's surface and water. So why has the United States relied so heavily upon fluoride over the decades? Supporters, including researchers at the CDC, will tell you it's because fluoride has been linked to decreased tooth decay. In fact, the CDC will tell you that fluoridation of water was one of the 10 greatest public health achievements of the 20th century. However, what you don't know is that fluoride is also used in pesticides, Teflon pans, tea leaves, and can be found in some poultry and was the key ingredient in the production of the atomic bomb. And studies done by the World Health Organization prove that there is no difference in the amount of tooth decay in countries that fluoridate water and in those that do not. When fluoridated water was introduced 60 years ago, consumers did not have another way to access fluoride, which is why adding fluoride seemed to be a logical thing to do. However, fluoride is much more abundant today than it was 60 years ago. Besides finding fluoride in public drinking water, more than 95% of toothpaste are fluoridated, and some antibiotics and processed foods also contain high levels of fluoride. This increase in exposure and consumption to fluoride is dangerous. There are over 20,000 calls to poison control centers nationwide each year in response to excessive ingestion of fluoride toothpaste. The truth is, you are at risk if you ingest more than 1/4 milligram of fluoride toothpaste. That's equal to a pea-sized amount of toothpaste. Dr. Hardy Lineback, an opponent of fluoride use, calls fluoride a cumulative toxin, which means that fluoride can lead to much more serious health effects systemically. He also says it is illogical to assume that tooth enamel is the only tissue affected by low daily doses of fluoride ingestion. Studies now show that the dangers of prolonged fluoride intake are not just limited to the mouth. Skeletal fluorosis, a painful condition in which bones experience excessive growth causing joint and pain stiffness, is just one of the many problems associated with fluoride consumption. Other problems include increased tumor and cancer growth, dementia, arthritis, a weakened immune system, brain damage, and impaired thyroid function. So what can you do to reduce your exposure and consumption of fluoride? Most importantly, stop drinking fluoridated water. That means tap water. Instead, use a water filter or water system and buy water bottles that contain spring water with low levels of fluoride. Encourage small children not to swallow toothpaste, eat less processed foods and soft drinks, avoid cooking with Teflon pans, and avoid fluoridated salt altogether. Unfortunately, the mandatory fluoridation of drinking water has been in effect for over half of a century, making it extremely difficult to put to an end. However, that does not mean we should keep quiet and stand by while we let generation after generation consume copious amounts of this toxin. Therefore, we must take it upon ourselves to end water fluoridation. I encourage you to contact your local representatives and politicians directly and to be relentless in the pursuit to bring attention to this issue. There are petitions you can sign and local rallies held in some communities that you can attend. Nothing will be done unless we take it upon ourselves to communicate the horrors of fluoride. Now imagine not having to think twice about what toxin may or may not be lurking in your water. Imagine the freedom to consume water wherever and whenever you choose. That is how it should be. and that is how it will be whenever mandatory water fluoridation is abolished. We should not have to second guess what harmful ingredients may be hiding in our waters. After all, water is a human necessity. About 2/3 of all drinking water in the United States contains unnatural amounts of fluoride. Fluoride is a chemical toxin that has been proven to cause more harm than good. It is time that fluoride is removed from our water. To find out if your water supply is fluoridated and to what extent, you can contact your local water department. Please don't sit back and continue to let fluoride ruin our health now that you know about its dangers. Remember, our teeth are not the only things at risk. Thank you, and here's my note card. Thank you.